Hello. Good evening. It is bedtime at the Metter household. Welcome to the faithful ones. Say hi. Micah, can you say hi? Hi. This is Ashby's first appearance in one of our videos, and I'm so proud of him for joining. This is my husband, Ashby Metter. Yep, this is the dude I love, and he loves me, right? I knew it.
That's right.
I love you. Well, tonight we're going to discuss the subject of worry and why we worry so much and what we worry about. And he doesn't particularly like when people define the words that they're teaching on, but I'm going to define it anyway because, I don't know, some people might benefit from it. But when he looked it up, it says worry is to give way to anxiety or unease and to allow the mind to dwell on difficulty or troubles. And the reality of it is that we all do it. And, you know, we do it for different reasons. You know, we do it, I don't know, it almost seems like it's like the first course of action for us, or lack of action. It's almost natural for a lot of us to just be concerned and have anxiety over different things that happen and go on. I know that between me and Ashby, we tend to worry about different things. I worry about like my relationships, like with my family, with my friends, especially like my marriage. I tend to worry about those things, and I worry about, you know, my parenting and my parenting skills, my wife's skills, and my shortcomings and getting things right. But tell them what you worry about.
I worry about the finances and the house and taking care of the girls and making sure they got what they need and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Because Ashby is really responsible. I feel like he's more responsible than I am, but I mean, I feel like a lot of times we worry, but it's out of, I guess it's out of a good intention, or it's out of a good place. It's because we care about something. We don't want something bad to happen. We don't want those repercussions, or, you know, we visualize all these things. We come up with, you know, endless things in our head of what could happen if I don't change the oil now. Like, what could happen if I give them one bad piece of advice? Like, what could happen if, you know, what's going to happen next year with the girls? Yes, Jesus. Like, you know, anything. And it's toxic. You know, it's toxic to relationships. It's toxic to our minds. Talk about the thing you were telling me when worry becomes a big issue, when it becomes repetitive and stuff.
Well, I think when we did look it up, it said it was the repetitive occurrence of thinking of something over and over again. And I think the big problem about worrying is that once you start doing it, it's kind of hard to stop, because you worry about things that are to come, or things that you can't necessarily control fully. So you start to worry about it, and then you start to realize that it's out of your control, or it's something that hasn't happened yet. So the more you think about it, the more you focus on it, and then the more you worry about it, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse until it finally happens, and then you realize, oh, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was. What was I spending all that time worrying about?
Exactly. I think if we just allow worry to consume us, it really is a waste of time. Something that Ashby said earlier, which, you know, I disagreed with. I don't know if I still disagree with it, but he said that worry can be a good thing because it can set you into action. We had frozen pipes a few weeks ago because it was snowing around here. It got really cold, and and, and Ashby, he's concerned about it. In the morning he realizes the pipes are frozen. He gets up, he gets all his gear on, the hoodie, the pants, the boots, all the stuff, and I can hear it in his voice. He's really concerned, and I know nothing. I've never had to deal with frozen pipes before, so here I am. I'm just like, well, it should be fine, like just leave it alone for a while. I'm sure it'll work out. And I can hear the concern in his voice when he whips around and he's like, no, this, and this could happen, and yeah. Like, I don't even remember everything he said. I'm sorry, but my thing is just like, don't worry, like, we'll be fine, do nothing. But he was worried about it, but it took him into a course of action. And I guess you said later on the worry subsided.
Well, yeah, once started doing what I had at the house to work on it with, we put the heater under the house and closed everything off, and it didn't work right away, but at that point that was the most that could be done about it. So then it was, a little bit of faith and everything else that it ended up being okay. But now looking back on it, it does seem like I was a little too worried about it. But the worry itself is what kind of got me up and moving, and got me on the right track to fixing the problem.
Yeah, worry can definitely just immobilize us sometimes, and it really can be a waste of time. I was talking to Ashby last week. Izzy's been having trouble with some impulsive behavior, with biting her arm and stuff, and that has to do with her worrying and things, it feels like she can't control some things, so it's just an impulsive behavior that she does. She like bites her arm. And we would talk about it, and I would just be like I don't know what to do. We've done this, we've done that, and it seemed like we just kept talking about it and kept talking about it. Like the subject of it just kept coming up. Don't do that. And finally, I was texting him one day, and I was like, you know what? Every time we just talk about it, I just end up worrying about it. So every time I think about it, I'm just going to pray about it. Like, that's it. Because up until this point, it's just all talk. Like, we keep talking about the same thing. It's like that cycle you're talking about. It's like, how many times we're going to talk about this? Something has to change, And if her behavior isn't changing, then, something that I'm doing has to change. And that for me was prayer. Like, every time I think about it, I'm going to pray about it instead of worrying about it, And I think she is doing better now, thank God. But
good job, Izzy.
Good job, Izzy.
You're doing better.
Tom, I'm doing good. Yeah. So, worry does tend to creep in. Us as believers, as as a family right now, worry creeps in through all sorts of spaces, with the house, with the vehicles, with our family, with the bills, with finances, stuff like that. But it's important to know that it's something we shouldn't dwell on. There is a solution to the worry, and tell them what you said.
Well, I think we all just get to a point where we have to accept with the actions that we've taken, and if it's all that we could do, and you just have to get to a point where you understand that, and you start to understand that there's something else that has to work for you. Like there's too many things to be done in the day, and sometimes you can't handle them all. So you just have to get to a point where you've done your best, and you just have to pray and hope that God's got the rest for you. So Yeah, I mean, people that I see that get consumed with worry, they get so wrapped up in that all the things that they try to do, and it just defeats them. You know, it just weighs them down. And I think I mean in the Bible, the Lord said that his burden was easy and his yoke was light. And I think it's just empowering to know that we have somebody that is there fighting for us, that cares for us, and he sees the things that we're doing, and he sees the things that you know, where we fall short, and the things that need to be taken care of that we might not necessarily be equipped or, you know, capable that day. And I mean, I believe he's there looking after us and caring for us. So knowing that, it's just I think it helps with the worry, you know.
It definitely does. It does. And I totally agree that worry does turn into something repetitive, and it turns into like this vicious cycle. So that being the case, create a new cycle. You know, if worry is something that stacks on top, on top, on top, then why can't hope be the same way? Instead of having, like, you get that thought of worry, say something hopeful, and let that catch on instead of the worry, and really just pray. Just pray. It doesn't have to be, oh, saith the Lord, oh, my Father, thou Father who art in heaven. And, just come to the Lord as you are and say, I know you care for me. You care for the sparrows. You care for me. So just bring your cares to the Lord. He knows. He understands. And if we go to him with confidence and with faith, then, he's sure to provide us with an answer, or to provide us with that person to encourage us, or to provide us with what he knows is best for us. But, we have to pray and believe and pay attention to those answers in whatever shape or form they come in. So I think that's all we have to say about that.
I mean, the Lord cares for us, and he doesn't want us to waste our days worrying about things. Yeah. I mean, he didn't place us here. He didn't create us for this time and this place to worry about things. He placed us here to see things that needed to be done, and for us to take action and start working towards creating new life and new opportunities for things. Not to just sit back and worry about things and say, oh, the world is a crazy place right now. Oh, what are we to do? I mean, he put us here to say, oh, well, this is a place that we can create a new life, that we can shine our light, that we can be the salt of the earth and things like that.
That's right.
I mean, we're placed here to be a change,
Yeah.
So.
Good word, Ashby.
Let's not worry about what tomorrow has in store. Let's look with hope.
Let's take care of today first, right?
Yeah, let's get these girls to bed.
Yeah, let's get these girls to bed.
So they can start out with a good day tomorrow.
So all of us.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it. You want to say goodnight?
Say bye, Mikey.
Say goodnight. Say
Use
we
your
love
words.
you.
Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Yes, thanks for everyone who's joined us. And it took the time to view this video tonight. Subscribe to our channel. We have a lot more in store, a lot more hope, a lot more encouragement. We just want to be as honest and real and genuine as possible, because we're in the same walk that you are. So we bless you guys. Have a good night.